Welcome to another episode of Moon Magic. I am Tracy Hawkner here at I Am Horus.
And this is Heather Rowan Robin, the astrologer here at I Am Horus.
And as always, we are recording from an actual store. Do not be alarmed by any hubbub. It is perfectly normal.
So we'd like to share our thoughts on the full and new moon cycles to help you work with them, to use them as a focus, as a place for self-knowledge, and a way to navigate your year. And if you want even more detail, my article, Star Codes, can give you day by day. But these full moons and new moons are key for working our magic and working our concentration and just feeling that alignment with the stars. And that alignment can bring us into a sense of the peace of knowing that we're working with the world around us. The new moon coming up on July 11th at 8:19 p.m. July 15th at 8:19 p.m. will be the sun and moon at 23 degrees of Cancer, cardinal sign, with Mercury and Mars exactly conjunct at 14 degrees Cancer, opposed Pluto at 14 degrees Capricorn. So it was the best of days, it's the worst of days. It's a chance, new moons are a chance to begin. And the new moon in Cancer is a chance to begin to feel more at home in our world, more at home in our life and our body, to nurture ourselves and our garden and our relationships, our hearth fires. And how would you help them begin to that? What would support that process?
I love our new moon oil. It is fantastic for initiating new cycles, for instigating new projects or attitudes. With this opposition with Pluto, I'm thinking we all need to have a real strong attitude toward home, self, safe, secure, happy, such things as this, and always that sort of thing begins within. We can't rely on that sort of thing coming from an external source. So starting that fresh, planting seeds for that sort of personal
and it will, because that opposition can bring up some of our toughest doubts. It can push us to achieve more, to be more, but we have to watch that the voice doesn't start whispering that we're not enough. Just take that whispering as, what else can I do, rather than I'm not good enough, because it can do that. And as the challenges come up with that opposition, which ask us to look in some of the darkest corners of our life, and our dreams can really bring up, look under the rocks. We can do that in a safe, healthy, and productive way if we're feeling strong enough in the rest of our lives. We're feeling our heart is warmed by our community and our relationships. I think of the new moon in Cancer like the message from a tree which says, if my roots are deep enough and wide enough and strong enough, I can weather any storm.
Anybody who's into candle magic, a nice red candle would be the thing to do to really focus in on some of this root chakra energy that we're working with here. A red candle like maybe our happy home candle would be good. Ruby zoisite is also a very good stone. The ruby pulls in a little bit of this Mars energy, and the creativity of this combines with the zoisite to really get your own creativity. How can I work with what I have? How can I make this better?
And there's so many, and that better quality, that stronger, safer, feeling like it's in your hands to enrich your life and to enrich the lives of the people around you, that you're growing your relationships and your connections so you're strong enough to handle this. It helps us balance both this very tough aspect and a wonderful aspect that's turning up the volume on our feelings all summer long. Unusually, Jupiter and Venus are running together. Venus runs all the way through Leo, retrogrades back, all the way through Leo again. It goes and just tags
they're just buddies the whole time, right?
And they're going back and forth doing this dance. Jupiter is larger than all the other planets combined. And Venus is the brightest planet, so it's sitting there beautifully on the western sky, getting lower and lower in the sky as the summer progresses. and the sun comes closer to Leo. But as you see them, these two beautiful bright stars, they bring up an abundance of emotion and demonstration. Venus in Leo hates to be ignored, so one thing not to do in any relationship issue, do not ignore the ones you love. You will pay for it. If you can give them just attention, you don't have to caretake them, you don't have to overdo it, but you do have to give them presence and be with them and share that bounty. Give them an extra strawberry. You know, spend a few minutes, you know, what makes them feel joyful. That's different from being codependent and taking responsibility for their happiness. It's sharing your abundance. And that, again, builds that strength. It's part of the root system that handles some of these more challenging aspects. Saturn will be squaring those planets as they move towards the end of Leo. And that can bring up some tests. It says, would you love me if I did this? How about if I did that? Or it can bring up work, you know, it can make it so that our work starts to interfere with our love life. And we are tasked, what's our responsibility to my heart? It can add, which is really good for artists, that Saturn square. Saturn likes being difficult, but it can be in the best of sense, like a teacher. But Saturn in the square to Venus, while it can be a little testing in relationships, can give us real discipline in our chosen art forms. So we practice our craft. So we learn a new skill. And we bring art into our work. So it can go both Venus to Saturn and Saturn to Venus, can work together there. So, and noticing the responsibilities we have from the bounty of our heart in this process. So those are some really interesting aspects. Towards, after that full moon, we're moving into a time when Mars is approaching a square to Uranus. And again, that's a sparky, difficult set of aspects. So we want to keep our temper on a 5-second lead, right, where we can notice that with the planets in Cancer, I think of Cancer as soft and squishy on the inside, like a crab, and hard with claws on the out. And the more sensitive people are, the more crabby and guarded they can be. So
especially if we season that with some Uranus. That's, yeah, okay.
And so when we see people's prickles go up, notice that their sensitivities are being wounded. It can be, this is a technologically brilliant summer with Jupiter's trining Uranus and Mars squaring it. You can look for some really interesting tech advancements in a few months from now in response to this. Some great ideas that are coming up, and we might find that our difficult times in our life may bring up some new ingenuity that we didn't know we had. We reinvent things, we recreate things. That's a wonderful side of that aspect. But when you feel those prickles come up in yourself, how do you soothe your own feathers? And again, think ways, any form of meditation, any form of breathing exercise, you know, working with the oils and scents to bring your own histamine level down when you're feeling reactive, so that you can make wise decisions during this time. Will be a powerful way to work with this full moon.
So much easier to control the reactions here than the reactions
yes.
everywhere else. Yes.
Right. And good luck. And this is, again, what garden do you want to plant? It's one of the most fertile full moons, new moons of the year. The sun and moon in Cancer. But we can plant relationship, heart, as well as plants. What's really fertile in our lives? Think about that. How can you nurture that? Thank you.
So, beloved fans, thank you for joining us for another episode of Moon Magic. We will be doing this every couple of weeks, and you'll want to keep up. Subscribe to videos. If everything's gone correctly, there should be a clickable link here. Subscribe to the videos. The store itself can be found anytime. eyeofhorus.biz. Don't lose track of us. During the videos, we are constantly yattering about candles and stones and oils. Oh my. Stuff can be had, and we're not afraid of shipping. Feel free to click on products. Gotta have your stuff. Readings. Either myself, Tracy Hawkner, or Heather Roan Robbins. fantastic astrologer. Book a reading. It's fun. And the music you've been listening to, by the way, composed for us by Johnny M. Johnny's music is also available. Important to patronize the arts. Thank you so much. Bye now.